Hey guys, I just wanted to go over what you're being asked to do for comparing data activity. This is a little bit of a worksheet that has you use data to for Mr. Waddell and my small group exit slip scores. We have these scores and you are going to compare them. So it says construct, analyze, and compare data on a double dot plot. So dot plots, remember, if I'm creating a dot plot, I just draw little X's that represent number of scores. So for all the 5s in Mr. Waddell's class, I would draw an X. Got 1, 2, 3, so I have 3 X's. I just do that for all of the scores for both classes. And then it says, what are the means of the two data sets? What is the difference between the ranges of the two sets of data? So to do that, I'm going to find the range for both small groups and then subtract. What score did most students in Miss Eplett's small group get on their exit slip? Remember, the word most can also be used for mode. Described how the data is skewed or symmetric for each set of data. So you should have a description for Mr. Waddell's and a description for my small group. Remember, if you don't remember the distributions, you can go back to those notes. It talks about right skewed, left skewed, and symmetric. It says what conclusions can be made about the exit slip results of Mr. Waddell's small group compared to the results of Miss Sublet's small group. So there, you can compare their means, their medians, their most. You can compare the interquartile ranges if you feel like it. And then I would definitely compare multiple types of data. That is a double dot plot. The next is a double stem and leaf plot. It already has the leaves, already has stems on there, so that's easier for you. Remember, you always want to order your data first and then start finding your medians and stuff like that. So I would create my double stem and leaf plot. Don't forget your key. It says what is the median for each set of data. Then it says what is the quartile 1, quartile 3, and interquartile range for Mr. Waddell's small group. So remember here, it is super important that if you are using your median, you do not include that number in your you don't include it for your quartile 1 and quartile 3. So go back to these notes and it shows you exactly how to find the quartile 1, quartile 3, and interquartile range. After you have found that, you're going to find the difference between the IQR of the two data sets. What is the mode for each set of data? How many students from both classes combined score between the intervals of 80 to 89? So I would look here for those numbers. What conclusions can be made about the scrimmage results compared to the results of each other's small groups? Next one is creating a double box and whisker plot. Go back to those notes if you can't remember exactly how to do that. So it's going to basically look like, I'll just use a highlighter even though I don't want to. It's going to look like this. So here's this one, and then you may use a different color or something, but here would be what that's going to look like. It's a double box and whisker. And you may want to offset them so they're not sitting exactly on top of each other. This is what is the difference between the medians, the ranges, the interquartile range, and describe how the data is skewed. This is basically a culmination of all the stuff that you have learned so far. So it's important that you use those notes that we gave you. Use the videos for resources to remember how to do each of these sets. There is a digital assignment. There is a digital assignment for this. And let me get so many things open. Digital assignment for comparing data. And it is only a few questions. Ends up being 8 questions. Also, there will be a digital form for you to put your answers for this activity in. So as always, if you have any questions, you can email us this activity, the form. If you have trouble with it, email us instead of redoing it over and over. You will be able to edit your responses, but for your frustration level, email us the first sign of trouble so you don't get too frustrated for this. As always, if you have any questions, email us. Hope you guys are doing well.